Welcome back, Truth Seeker. More tragedy in the headlines. This time it's Hector Ortiz of the Texas Rangers, who just won the World Series. He's dead at age 54 on 54 date numerology when there's 54 outs in a complete game, and now he's out of here for good. And on top of that, he died exactly 119 days after the 119th World Series that the Rangers won. So if you're new here, this becomes all the more interesting when you learn gematria, the Kabbalistic practice of coding numbers into words. In addition to the 54 date numerology matching his age of death, in gematria, baseball equates to 54. And you get that by just taking the alphabetic order. A is 1 up to Z is 26. B is the second letter, A is the first, S is the 19th, E is the 5th, B is the second, A is the first, L is the 12th, L is the 12th. You add it together, baseball, 54. If you apply numerology to that, baseball equates to 18 instead. The article says that he was a coach and manager in the MLB for 18 seasons. And the season the Rangers won the World Series was the season they made the bases 18 inches in each direction. Again, 18 half innings in a game, 54 outs. Now notice the 119th World Series concluded November 1st, and from that day to his death was 119 days later. And remember, George W. Bush, who used to run the Rangers, threw out the first pitch, and then the World Series ended on his 119th day of his age. And if you weren't here last year, after game one, we said, let's put in a future for the Rangers because they had a huge ritual synced with the Rangers beating the Phillies, the defending NL champs, synced with Bush. The Rangers beat the Phillies 267 days after Bush's birthday. 267 is the Philadelphia area code. Around that same sports time, it was the year the Niners lost in the NFC Championship to the Eagles, staying on 267 road wins all time. Again, you learn the numbers, you learn area codes, gematria, numerology. You'll be amazed at just how scripted sports are. But that was game one, and we said that right there looks like a big-time riddle. Rangers pay 50-1, definitely worth the future. Had you put $10 on that, would have paid you $500 at the end of the season. And again, we also had the World Series to end on November 1st in the Rangers' favor because we saw it was the 119th day of Bush's age. This is how scripted it is. Year after year, we're showing the same types of things. Now, gematria, there's 4 base ciphers: the alphabetic order with numerology, the reverse alphabetic order, and the reverse alphabetic order with numerology. And just to make a point about baseball, notice how it's 54, like we said, 18 with numerology, 162 when you run the alphabetic order in reverse. Z is 1 back to A is 26, going with the 162-game season. And then if you apply numerology, it hits 54 again. 54, very pertinent baseball number. Hector Ortiz is dead at 59. Notice how his name equates to, he's dead at 54, but on the 59th day of the year, and notice how his name equates to 59. And the date numerology was 54. That was the abbreviated date numerology, 2 plus 28 plus 24, dead February 28th, 24. The full date numerology is 2 plus 28 plus 20 plus 24, which is 74, and notice how that corresponds to Texas Rangers, who just won the World Series, who he was coaching with. And then the one other thing that's noteworthy is I've done videos on Tim Wakefield's death and his wife's death, which was also announced yesterday on the same day that Hector Ortiz passed. And the parallel with Hector Ortiz and Tim Wakefield is they were both drafted in 1988. And that's noteworthy because where Wakefield was drafted by the Pirates, Ortiz was drafted by the Dodgers, who went on to win the World Series in 88. And the Dodgers are the favorites this year to win the World Series. And again, we'll continue to pay attention, but again, you follow the dead bodies. Oftentimes it reveals the script. Just like how, again, Norma Hunt died last year on June 4th, 6-4. Norma Hunt of the Kansas City Chiefs, right before their 64th season, when in gematria, Kansas City Chiefs equals 64. And the day she died is also the day in history that the 49ers were established, which is part of the reason Dwight Clark died on that day in history, who caught the catch from Montana. So, and then, baseball in 54, you think about Mahomes. He comes from a professional baseball player, his father, Pat Mahomes Sr. First Mahomes Super Bowl win was Super Bowl 54 over Joe Montana's other team, the Niners. Niners and Chiefs, the Montana teams. Joe Montana equals 54. Super Bowl 58, the 54th of the modern era. Let's not forget the year before Len Dawson died 172 days before the Super Bowl. Kansas City Chiefs won 72. He died on Kobe Bryant Day. He was from Philly. That Super Bowl was Chiefs over Philly. Again, you guys, and with regards to Philadelphia being in the World Series the year before the 119th, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 118. We had them in the World Series in spring training, as we've done so many years. The year before that, we had the Braves to win the World Series in the 117th because they changed their ballpark name to Truist Park, which is 117. Again, learn Gematria, pay attention to the numbers, and you'll see the rig, and you'll also see the clear ritual sacrifice. So RIP to Hector Ortiz, and until next time, Truth Seeker.